What's going on, guys? My name is DanBeforeTime. Welcome back. Today we're going to do a quick first impressions on this little game called Astroneer. Now, I've been playing this for a couple hours, probably about 2 hours. I'm really liking it. What this is, it is a procedurally generated space exploration survival / crafting game. Now, if you're thinking that sounds similar to a certain game that came out earlier this year, you wouldn't be completely wrong. However, Astroneer is so much different than No Man's Sky, and I'm really enjoying myself with this game. So for this first impressions, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the face cam so you guys can just focus and kind of vibe out on the actual gameplay, because that is one of the things that makes this game so special. And for me, this vibe hit right at the menu screen. You're hit with that, what I like to call the Wii menu music. To me, it just transports me back to the Wii that had epic, super mellow, relaxing menu music, and right there it just set the tone for me. It's a very simple, straightforward game, and I really like that, and that's missing in so many titles these days. So basically, you pick one of these 4 astronauts and you launch, and you're transported right away to your home planet. So as soon as you land, you're basically free to explore and figure the game out by yourself. And that's the next thing that I really loved about Astroneer. It really doesn't give you that much as far as direction. It lets you play the game and figure things out as you choose. It gives you a few quick, simple visual prompts letting you know what buttons do what for basic functions, but after that, the game trusts you and your intelligence to figure out how the systems interact and work together. Now, I will say right up front, I'm not the type of gamer that likes really free-flowing, open-world sandbox-style games. I prefer more of a directive, more of a narrative, usually. However, with this game, I found that it works really well. Lack of instruction in games can be really frustrating for me sometimes because it breaks my immersion. Now, I know this is completely subjective, but for me, it's just not my normal preference. But for Astroneer, it was the opposite for me. I found that the fact that you weren't given instructions actually enhanced the immersion. Now, part of that is thematic, I think. I mean, you are an astronaut stranded by yourself on this planet, so there's not going to be a laid out set of instructions for how to get through this situation. But on the other hand, like I said, this game is very simple in its presentation, and it is not trying to be a hard simulation. And I think the game design, and specifically the UI, does a really good job of encouraging experimentation from the player without overwhelming you with the complexity and options that are usually available in these exploration, crafting, survival style games. Now, I'm fairly certain that the complexity will slowly ramp up as you progress through the game. However, those systems are so well implemented that it's such a natural progression for the player to learn. So trying to explain why I like a survival crafting game when I don't normally like survival crafting games is kind of difficult, but I'm giving it my best shot. So the survival part in this game is actually pretty light. Now again, there may be exceptions further down the road in the game, but at the beginning you basically only need to worry about your oxygen and the occasional storm that blows through. So to supply yourself with this oxygen, you're going to build a lot of tethers, and these are kind of like your lifeline in a number of different ways. First, they're going to keep you supplied with oxygen that you need to breathe. Second of all, because there's no map in Astroneer, they become a de facto way for you to chart your course and guide you back to your home base if you ever do get lost. And again, this is one of these beautiful little design touches that I found sprinkled throughout this entire game that just brought a smile to my face. So let's talk about the gameplay, because that's something we really haven't touched on yet. Now, if this game doesn't sound exciting, you'd be right. It's really not an exciting game, but it is an incredibly fun game because the gameplay loop is so addictive. And again, it's very simple. Basically, you explore, you use your little terraforming tool that you guys can see in the video, and you dig and uncover and gather resources. And with these resources, you can craft various parts that you need to expand your base. It's basically that simple. The further you progress, the more you enhance your mobility options, giving you access to land vehicles, air vehicles, and eventually get you back into space. Now the reason that it's so addicting, I think, is because you always have something to do, and it reminds me a lot of Stardew Valley in that sense, if you guys have seen or played that game. That game was another very, very simple game, but you always had something to work towards and accomplish, and it kept you wanting to be in that world and keep playing and keep improving and earning things so you could build the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and that is what Astroneer does so well. And somehow it manages to do all of this without ever getting grindy. And that is what I love about it the most, I think. Resources are well dispersed and strike a very unique balance between being too plentiful and too rare. And in my time spent with the game, I never went on that 1 hour trek by foot to find that one resource that I couldn't find anywhere. That just didn't happen. Now I realize some people like that kind of game and like that grind, but for me, I don't, so this was really refreshing. That I could have that sense of exploration and discovery, but the game never pulled me out of relaxation into frustration, and I value that so much. So if you guys have been around my YouTube channel for a while, you know that I played a lot and covered a lot of No Man's Sky. So after that whole debacle, I purposely stayed away from reading too much information about this game. I didn't want to get on the hype train, and I stayed away from that altogether pretty much. So I really don't know what this game is about or what the purpose of this game is, and I don't know what I'm working towards. Now normally that would drive me absolutely crazy, but with this game I genuinely don't care. I don't care what the end game is. I don't care if there is an end game. I don't care if I come to a point and they say, okay, you've done everything that you have to do, thanks for playing. I would start a new game. That's how enjoyable of an experience just being in this game world is. So this game is bound to be compared to No Man's Sky just because of what it is. And that's fair in certain situations and unfair in others. I will probably do a video where I compare and contrast the two games, but what I can tell you is this. If you liked No Man's Sky, I think you will definitely like Astroneer. But on the other hand, if you didn't like No Man's Sky, I think you'll still like Astroneer. Now, I'm one of those that did enjoy No Man's Sky for what it was, and I still do on occasion. However, I will say that with Astroneer, when I'm in this world, it just makes me happy. It doesn't have those same frustrations that No Man's Sky had for me in certain situations. With Astroneer, I can just be mellow, relax, escape to a different world, to a different planet, be by myself, with my own thoughts, and that's something that I really value in this day and age, especially as I get older and especially as the world seems to get crazier and crazier. So those are my initial thoughts on Astroneer, guys. I'm going to be playing this game a lot more. I'd love to bring more content to the channel. Let me know if you guys would like to see that in the comments down below. I think this game really lends itself well to Let's Plays. I know I just did a video saying I wasn't going to do Let's Plays on the channel, but I think for this game in particular, it would work really well. Also, be sure to let me know in the comments down below if you're playing Astroneer or if it's something that you want to play. I'd love to hear your experiences and thoughts. Before I wrap this up, I want to give a shout out to my friend No More Shadows. I'm going to link his YouTube channel in the description down below. Go tell him hi, tell him Dan sent you. He was kind enough to hook me up with the Steam key for this game, and I really, really appreciate it. He does great content on this and No Man's Sky. You guys should definitely go check him out. That's going to do it for me here today. Thanks so much for watching, guys. As always, I've been Dan Before Time. You guys have been awesome. Until next time, enjoy your day.